This review of Knuckles Chaotix may contain spoilers and coarse language. If neither of those bother you, then have fun watching and enjoying this review. People unfairly give the 32X a lot of shit. It seems like there's nothing really on that console because there's barely anything on that console. What a shock. But as one of the few console-exclusive games, Knuckles Chaotix continues to be a surprising one. With a lot of effort put into it, Knuckles Chaotix is certainly one of the best that the console has. And if you look down to the bone, you can see a lot of surprising things about this game, both in gameplay and especially in presentation. So, where can we begin on this no hedgehogs allowed journey? Knuckles Chaotix plot isn't any more advanced than a traditional Sonic game. Stop Dr. Eggman, it's always been that. There is a little bit of backstory where it details how the team came together and how Knuckles saves Espio first, but that's about it. But with older games like this, it's not really about the story, it's about the gameplay. And while people who can't really be good at video games bitch about this game's gameplay, I think that it's quite superb. But you say to yourself, but Stolken, I've seen all these people who are bad at video games bitch about it. What could possibly be good about this game that makes it somewhat difficult for someone to see? Well, let me explain why. Knuckles Chaotix has a very unique system attached to it. You and your AI or a second player are linked together via a rubber band system called the Combi Ring. While the game uses momentum-based platforming like many Sonic games before it, the new system lets you manipulate your speed and gravity and serves as an additive to the momentum-based gameplay that's already established in it. Like one such ability is a hold system, where you can fling yourself and your partner really high, but of course your partner's AI can be a little wonky. It's really damn cool, but of course it has its moments of, oh yeah, I wanted to do that. Yeah, totally, yeah. Thankfully, you can also do two things to stop your partner from bumfucking you. You can call them with the A button, which costs 10 rings but keeps them out of your hair, or you can hold them to make sure that they don't touch anything. There are 7 playable characters in Knuckles Chaotix. Knuckles, the star himself, plays like he does in previous Sonic games. He can glide through the air using his dreadlocks, and he can also climb the walls by fucking punching it. Still cool. Vector can dash in midair, and he can also climb a wall if he touches it while dashing. Mighty can wall jump and do so very high, and he can also do it on just one wall like Mega Man X. Whether intentional or not, I like it. He's also the fastest character in the game, so I usually play as him. Espio's the second fastest character whose headbutt can damage enemies, but he can also run and jump on a wall to climb walls. Can someone do something other than fucking climb walls? Charmy can't climb walls, thankfully, but he can fly, making some stages total pushovers, but he's got no way to attack, and his throws suck. Then you have Heavy and Bomb, who you can't play as normally, thank God. Heavy is named right, he's slow as shit and can't be thrown far, but is totally indestructible. Bomb is okay, but when he gets hit, he commits suicide and can hurt you in the process. Fuck these two. Like, no, for real. These guys, they just suck. And you can be stuck with them because of how this game's character select screen works. I've gotten very good at this game, but I really don't think a lot of people will. And, like, seriously, it could have just been better if you had a character select screen, like how you do in 2-player. But you know what? I'm really thankful this isn't like a regular UFO catcher where you can fucking drop the characters. There are a lot of the same item boxes in the Sonic games in this one, like a shield and a 10-ring monitor, but the absence of elemental shields. But in this game, they add a lot of new ones that take advantage of the 32X's superior hardware. The blue ring is a ring that turns all your rings that you've lost into a giant ring, and upon collecting it, you get all your rings back. The character switcher box switches you and your partner character, giving you access to your partner's abilities, which you normally don't. Then there's the character change box, which lets you change your partner's character to whoever's on the monitor. Then there's the big and small monitors, which change your height to either be 6 foot or 5'11". Both of these items affect your weight and your jump height, and definitely take advantage of the 32X's sprite scaling. There are 5 stages with 5 acts total, so 25 stages all in all. While at the base these stages are straightforward, you really can get lost in them. In some instances, these stages can drag, and that's because a lot of them don't have identifying landmarks. I remember in Speed Slider that happened, and I kept going in circles, and man, that's just not fun. So combined with the length and sometimes getting lost, I can see why some people wouldn't like the level design in this game. But overall, it seems like the level design does the job of making it more exploration-focused, which I appreciate. I just wish it had more landmarks. Botanic Base, Speed Slider, and Techno Tower are very straightforward. Get to the goal. These stages normally don't have interrupting pieces. I think Techno Tower does, but I've beaten all the stages without seeing that drill or anything like that. Marina Madness has a few more steps to it, in which you have to raise and lower flying cruise ships to elevate you to the right level, which at times can lead to some confusion on what to do next, but other than that, it's still somewhat straightforward. Amazing Arena, however, is by far the worst. Before you can even complete this stage, you need to hit a button to turn the stage on. If you don't, you didn't clear it. So before you even attempt to get somewhere, you gotta find that button, which there are thankfully multiple buttons of, and you get a radar to help you find it. But it's still out of the way and it adds an extra step to it. These stages are also somewhat long and don't have checkpoints, so what happens if you die? When you die in Knuckles Chaotix, you're sent back to the starting area. That's it. You got unlimited lives, and it's done well here. You get an extra hit if you have 0 rings via your partner disappearing. But if you get hit while you have no partner and 0 rings, or your ring count reaches -100, you're done, and you're sent back to the stage select screen. Each of the bosses and stages are also pretty unique. Some tackle the usage of the combi system, and that makes the fight very unique. Many take advantage of things the 32X can do, like render polygons and sprite scaling. The final boss is the ultimate kicker, having you start with no rings at all, and Phase 2 leading to this gigantic Metal Sonic fight. It is certainly awesome. However, make sure you don't get the bad ending, because it's really fucking morbid. The good ending is better, I think, as long as you get all the Chaos Rings in the special stages. Once you get 50 rings and beat the stage, the special stages are open for you. And man, the special stages in this one are fucking awesome. Taking full advantage of the 32X rendering, they offer gigantic special stages that twist and bend around and are, in my opinion, the best special stages in the Sonic franchise. You have a 3D hexagonal gridlock where you can go around and collect blue spheres and rings to refill your diminishing ring count. There's tons of platforming. It's also got a lot of gravity manipulation stuff, things that the cancelled Sonic Extreme was also going to have. I really enjoy the platforming in these because it takes advantage of the rules already established in these. For example, hitting a wall is supposed to knock you back, so there's a special stage where you have to hit a wall to balance yourself by moving carefully to the right. And then there's another similar one where they introduce spring spheres, and then you have to go up giant polygonal buildings. There's multiple paths too, which are somewhat forced, and it's mainly because some of the paths just don't have enough blue spheres in them. In all honesty, it seems kinda dumb to do something like that, but it's not that bad. We'll talk about improvements later. There's also a side special stage that you can go into as long as you have 20 rings and find it before the goal. In here, you can get bonus items like being able to select a new partner, stage select so it's not so pseudo-random, and tons of extra rings and points, all while falling down into the looping abyss. Speaking of these special stages, how about the graphics? Knuckles Chaotix is without a doubt one of the most beautiful sprite games I've seen. And like I said, it's all in the presentation. Knuckles Chaotix has a day-night cycle that I only think is there for aesthetics. I haven't noticed any differences myself, but people say there are. And by picking the stages around this time, you'll go to said stages at various times of the day, which leads to tons of cool screenshots and awesome color design, which certainly brings out a lot of this game's original graphics that you may have missed. Along with that, this game's 3D usage is subtle, but when it's used, it does look somewhat nice. Sega opted in on a smoother, non-textured look with these polygons, which helps performance-wise and ages just a little bit better. But there are times where they get away with a texture or two. The problem is that while this game is pretty, it suffers from some minor slowdown, which is unfortunate because some work could be made to fix a lot of that. Music-wise though, well, this is a Sonic game, do I really need to say much? Like, just take a listen to Botanic Bass's music. The compositions are rad, they will stay in your head, and you'll probably look up a few remixes of them too. Sound effect wise, it's very similar to other Sonic games with item boxes behaving as is and all that jazz. Nothing sounds out of place, and important sound effects are normally loud, so you're always going to be aware if something happens that you need to be aware of. So, what nice changes would I add? Well, for starters, I would add the ability to desync from your partner at will. With a small meter, and holding B but tapping A, or some sort of combination like that, you could desync from your partner for about 5 seconds. I understand why this wasn't implemented with multiplayer concerns, but if so, disable it for multiplayer if it's going to be that big of a problem. But it will prevent the bots from fucking you over like they can and are prone to, and give you some breathing room. But then you say, what's the difference between this and tapping A to summon them? Well, the first is that they don't fucking cover your screen, and secondly, it may last a little bit longer. It's about 5 seconds, so I mean, it doesn't seem like it could do that much damage to the game, so I think it'll be pretty good. Secondly, I'd tweak the special stages just a little bit so that getting extra blue spheres were important. I'd make it so that getting an extra blue sphere while the goal is met replaces them with 10 rings, so you get bonus time to spend in the stage. Oh, also, fuck that character select thing. Just make it so you can choose it. That would be so much nicer. Also, check up a bit on optimization. By making rings, not fly at you if it's gonna slow down the game, like, really bad. Besides that, it doesn't seem like there's that much to change, as that desyncing ability would fix most of the problems with the partner. And at the same time, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can think of one. Fucking Amazing Arena! Get rid of that stupid button! Maybe make it so that as you play the stage, it turns into the fucking cool on thing? I mean, that would be cool. Or if you want to keep the exploring, just make it so you're locked in a room to find the button, so then you don't have to worry about not being able to clear a stage. And that's all I change. Knuckles Chaotix is without a doubt a wonderful game that I wish many got the chance to play. I'm not one to advocate sailing the 7 seas to play this game, but I think in this chance I will, because it hasn't been officially re-released, and also the only way to get it is to get a 32X, which are expensive, the game itself is expensive, it's quite a hassle, Which is fine, since Sega's not the one porting it over to a nice engine that they could use. Oh, sorry, I meant to say the Taxman engine. Man, what a great engine that would be for it. Something to do after Mania, you guys. I would recommend this game, especially if you're an advanced platforming enthusiast. However, the level design could get a little bit on your nerves, and same with the combi system, so make sure you start to practice and get really good at this game. Oh my god, I can't believe Tails is in this game. What do you mean that's not Tails? That's fucking Tails, dude. Look at him. It's Tails.